Freshfields was founded as a charity in 1975, so we've been going for over 30 years. The main purpose of the centre is to rescue and rehome abandoned, abused and unwanted animals. We can be bombarded with telephone calls of people needing to get rid of their animals quickly. We have animals turn up at the door. I mean, we rehome, it's not just dogs, there's cats, small animals as well. The general procedure is that someone would need to come into the rescue. If they've got a family, we ask as many people as possible to come down, take a look around. If you see an animal that you like, somebody will ask you some questions about your background, your home setup, and assuming that everything's okay for you to take an animal, then you'd be able to reserve it. At that point, we carry out a home check. Once you've passed the home check, the animal's yours to take, and we generally ask a donation for each animal that helps cover our costs while it's been in our care.
My name's Dina. I'm a volunteer. I've been a volunteer for 4.5 years. Initially I volunteered in the cattery, and as a penance, because I brought so many hedgehogs and birds, I've decided to volunteer also in wildlife. Do other things as well, like vet runs and whatever's necessary, help out on open days, because in an animal rescue like this, there's a multitude of jobs that need to be done. And the reason I actually volunteer is so somebody doesn't have to be employed. So the more volunteers you've got, the less staff are hired, which saves the shelter money.
My name is Breda. I've been a volunteer here since 2009, and I do dog walking mainly, gardening, and recently we started developing a wildlife garden on site.
Hi, my name's Fran, and I've been volunteering as a dog walker for about 9 years, but I also help with the garden and setting up hanging baskets on the tubs and things like that as well.
In 2009 I lost my own dog that I had for 16 years, and at that point I was starting to work full time, so it wouldn't have been right to take on another dog. So I came up here and walked them instead.
Well, although you're not paid, you still got quite a responsibility with the dogs, because some of them got behavioural issues, and you really feel when you're out with them, their care is in your hands. You've got to think about what you're doing, so that's quite a responsibility really. When you see everything going right, it feels good. Also, if you've got to know a dog over a period of time, and then you see it rehomed, you've seen improvements in the dog's behaviour maybe. It's really nice to hear that they get settled.
The dogs I particularly do are challenging because they both got behavioural issues, so you've got to be conscious of everybody's safety when you're out with them. That's challenging, but we're used to that. Sometimes it can be challenging because Freshfields struggles so much for resources, so you're trying to make do and mend, otherwise it's great.
There's like a myth that it's at Christmas it's really busy and then it goes quieter throughout the year, but we'll get them coming in all through the year. So like a lot of people donate money and food at Christmas as well, because they think that's like the most important time, which is really nice. But we've got vets bills kind of running right through the year, dogs coming in right through the year. As to numbers, it's kind of difficult to say. I mean, it's a lot. Because you're working with them, you don't realise kind of how many come in and go out. And then we'll have an open day once a year, which a lot of the dogs come back to. And you actually think, oh, we've actually helped rehome all these dogs. So in the hundreds, maybe, yeah, high hundreds.
I think if you're thinking of doing it on a regular basis and you get involved with a particular dog or particular thing that you do, it's great if you can offer a deeper commitment, because obviously some dogs get used to the people who take them out, and indeed they might become reliant on you. So it's not so easy to just think, oh, I can't be bothered this week. You think, oh, there might be a dog there pining away waiting for me to get there. It sort of pulls at your heartstrings really.
We keep our cats in enclosures like this. They all have little heated houses to sleep in at night. There can be anything up to about 15 cats in here. 6 individual runs where we keep cats as well. I think they've all been fed, so they've all taken to their quarters for a rest now. Again, these are all cleared out each day, brushed, all the bedding checked, all the cats checked and all fed.
My name's Colin. I work in reception and I also help out where I'm needed. If you want to follow me, I'll take you down, I'll show you what we've got. All the cats on the right have been homing. They've been here various amounts of times. The co-ed, because they've all been neutered and everything, they've got all their injections and booster jabs. Generally what we want to do is rehome as fast as we can. When we do that, we'll come in, pick your cat, get to know the cat, take it out to your house, suitable, check your home, and basically from there you'll pay a donation £90. That's just to basically cover everything that we've done for the cat and obviously help out with donations.
We group house because we've got no alternative to that because of our circumstances. We're a poor charity. When a cat comes into the shelter, it gets health checked by me and wormed and defleed. Then it goes over into our isolation unit, which is the house. We've got 3 isolation rooms for all our new admittance cats. Once there, they have their vaccinations and then they're neutered if need be, and they're assessed by staff on their personality and behaviour. Mr Wolf, he come into us completely matted up. He was dumped at the house further down the road. He needed a dental, but he's in pretty good shape. He's about 10 years old, and see, we had to completely shave him. This is little Gizmo. He come into us. He apparently was taken off children who were kicking him, using him as a football, as a kitten. The ladies kept him for some months, but she decided she can't cope with him. He's not been with us very long, so he's still adapting to the shelter life, which can be very stressful and chaotic for animals. He's a real cutie, but he's 8 months old and he's completely underdeveloped, so he's probably had quite a poor start in life because, as you can see, he's tiny. He looks about 4 months old. We have a huge army of volunteers, particularly the cattery. We are heavily dependent on volunteers. We're a small charity. There's probably about 20 full and part-time staff. So yeah, we are dependent on volunteers.
Just recently, Gail's gone out to a house where she's had to rescue several guinea pigs kept in tiny cages, male and females together, breeding, and again, that sort of problem just ends up here. There's hundreds probably on the waiting list in terms of rabbits and guinea pigs ready to come in, but you can see how little space there is in here. There's rabbits and things outdoors, so they tend to go on to a waiting list. Here we have a hedgehog about to be cleaned out. There's very little room, so they're piled high. They're actually fed dog food. They won't eat fish-flavoured dog food, so if anybody does pick up a hedgehog, if you see a hedgehog outdoors in the light, there's generally something wrong with it. Unless it's late summer and they've got to come out at some point to eat, you know, when it doesn't go dark till 10 o'clock. So if you find a little hedgehog out in the daylight, the best thing to do, if you've got to keep it overnight before you bring it somewhere here, is if it's small, put it on a heat pad, or if it looks sickly, put it on a heat pad. Feed it with dog food, never a fish flavour, and a bowl of water. Milk is very bad for them, so never give a hedgehog milk. Now initially when the birds come in here, they are injured, so everything in here, until it's on the way to recovery, it doesn't go outdoors, and then obviously once it's been outdoors it's released. This poor little dove in here looks like it's the victim. If you come round there, you look at its wing, it's a victim of a kestrel attack. And it's got a horrendous bite on its back, so you can see its left wing is droopy, so the likes of this dove is unlikely to fly again, so it'll probably live here for life. So if you can home in, you will see the wound, and that's obviously some sort of kestrel or sparrowhawk attack. And a lot of the birds that come in here are a result of kestrels, sparrowhawks. So that looks like it'll be a lifer and go in the aviary with all the others that are here forever, because it's quite fit and healthy, and it has started to heal, which is a surprise, because its back is horrendous. But it's happy, aren't you? Yeah. Welcome to the farm. We have a variety of sheep, we have a ram, pigs, and in this run here there's a range of ducks, chickens, cockerels. Here we've got some crows, I think we've got some ducks and chickens in there, so it's just a big wide range of farm animals. We have a very big pig who's not here at the moment, I think he got sunstroke on his back, so he's off being treated. So yeah, the farm. Right, this is the graveyard. We call it the graveyard because there's a variety of long-term animals that have been buried here that have died on site for old age. So there's quite a few dogs and what have you here. So we plant fruit trees and keep it nice. And they've got little plaques. One of the dogs that died here, staff have seen roaming around the grounds quite often. True. True. I think any shelter struggles constantly for finances. That's the major thing. You need money. You do have to have permanent staff to manage. Obviously they need a salary. You need medication.
More donations as well. Yeah.
You need more donations because obviously you've got to pay staff to manage. You've got to pay for veterinary care. You've got to pay for medication. Half of these hedgehogs and birds in here are on medication. Yeah. You have to pay for neutering all the rabbits, the cats, the dogs, that sort of thing. And obviously food. Food is expensive. In here, people donate shredded paper, but they'd have to pay for the hay. So the biggest thing to donate is money. Anybody with any handyman skills, volunteers are always needed. If somebody waved a magic wand and doubled the size of this building without any cost, would be beneficial to the shelter. Volunteers, drivers, home checkers, people to muck out like me, dog walkers. So there's a whole host of a variety of jobs for volunteers, from driving to being a handyman to hands-on with the animals, absolutely anything. So finances, handyman skills, volunteers, donations of food, donations of hay, anything like that at all. Yeah, it's very satisfying working here, very satisfying. You feel you're doing your bit for your local community as well.